Hello all of you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video we'll learn about explicit cursor attributes. So in the previous video we had started with the explicit cursor. So if you have any queries regarding cursor you can watch our previous videos regarding cursor and plsql block. So in this video we'll start with the explicit cursor attributes like percentage found, percentage not found, percentage is open, percentage row count. So in detail, we'll solve some queries, we'll solve some examples on this explicit cursor life cycle, and we'll try to understand what are how these attributes are used in the cursors. So basically first percentage not found. So in this, it will return true if if the query is not returning any value. So if I am trying to fetch records, if I am using select statement in the cursor, and if it is not returning any values, then it will return true this attribute, that is percentage not found. Then it will return true if the records are fetching. If there is a single record, then it will return true. And next is open, so it will return true if we are opening the cursor. So we'll learn about how we are opening the cursor and how we are dealing with cursor, how we are doing manipulation operations. We'll learn in this video. Then percentage row count. So the number of records written by any select statement or any query will be calculated or will be stored in this attribute, that is percentage row count. So when you are printing this percentage row count, it will show the result, the number of values or records written by any select statement or any query. So this is about explicit cursor attributes. So all the cursor attributes are used along with the cursor name only. And syntax to use these attributes are cursor name, percentage attribute name, and like for example we can say C1 is a cursor name, percentage not found. So this is example of first attribute, that is not found, percentage not found. So C1 percentage not found is a syntax. So let's deal with some examples. So real life examples, will solve some examples on based on this cursor explicit cursor life cycle. So we'll see what is the first example. So the requirement is display all records from EMP1 table using explicit cursor lifecycle. So again, we have to go through the explicit cursor lifecycle. Like we will use this lifecycle, that is open. We will open the cursor, then we will fetch all the records into C1, that is cursor, and then we will close the cursor and end the block. So this is about explicit cursor lifecycle. So we have to use this lifecycle to display all the records from EMP1 table. So how to fetch these records? So let's see. So basically we have syntax like first is a declare section. In declare section we are declaring the variables as well as the cursors. Next we have begin section. So in begin section we are doing all the operations related to the requirement or related to the cursor. So in this begin section you will see this is the life cycle of the cursor. So we are opening the cursor, then we are fetching records into this cursor, then we are closing this cursor and ending the block. So this is the syntax. So let's see how we are fetching the records by using this life cycle. So first in declare section we will declare the cursor. So cursor we are declaring, we are using the cursor name as C1. So cursor C1 is select. So what we want to fetch? We want to fetch all records. So in this case I will fetch ename and sal. So I am fetching employee name and sal from EMP1 table. So let me show you first the records from EMP1 table. Select star from EMP1. So these are the records. So in the EMP1 table, these are the records. So as per requirement, we will be fetching ename and sal from EMP1 table. So this is, we have declared the cursor. So cursor C1 is select ename sal from EMP1. So we are fetching two columns from EMP1 table. Then as we are fetching these two columns, that is employee name and sal, we will store into a variable. We are fetching ename and sal, we will fetch into a variable. So we have declared two variables, that is v underscore ename, that is variable for ename, and v underscore sal. And we have to declare the data types. So employee name is of varchar 2 data type and I'm taking size as 20. Next, also we have sal, that is salary column. I am fetching this into v underscore sal variable, and here the data type of sal will be number and size is 10. So this is the declare section. So we have declared cursor as well as the variables. Now from begin section we'll start the operations. So from here the life cycle of cursor will begin. So first step in cursor life cycle is open the cursor. So open cursor name, that is C1. So we have declared name of cursor C1. So we have opened the cursor C1. Next, as we are fetching multiple records, in this as per requirement you will see display all the records. As we are fetching records, we have to use the loop condition or loop statement. So by using loop, we can fetch all the records present in the table. So loop, we are writing loop, then fetch. So after opening, we have to write loop, then fetch C1. So C1 is cursor into. So all records we have collected into this C1 into v underscore ename and v underscore cell. So we are fetching this records from table, that is C1 or the from the cursor into v underscore ename and v underscore cell. So exit when C1 percentage not found. So this is the attribute, cursor attribute. So we have to exit this loop. So we have started the loop. So in this loop, C1 will fetch one by one all the records in this variable, that is v underscore ename and cell. So this loop will be exited when the C1 percentage not found, means unless and until all the records are finished. When records are finished, then it will exit the loop. When records are present, it will continue looping. So it will fetch, it will store one by one all the records into these two variables, v underscore ename and v underscore cell. So after exiting, so after 7% is not found condition gets true, so it will end the loop. So before ending loop, it will print the records which are fetched into these variables, that is v underscore ename and v underscore cell, which has been declared into the declare section. So it will fetch the v underscore ename and cell. So you can see how it is fetching. So simply you have to write the variable name into which we have fetched C1. Then this is the string. Simply I am writing this arrow into single inverted commas, concatenation sign and v underscore cell and end loop and close C1. So at last, after finishing the loop, we have to close the cursor. So this is the life cycle. So what is the life cycle? So we are opening the cursor, fetch C1 into variables and close cursor. So if I run this query, you will get all the records. Yes, so it is compiled successfully. So as I am running this, first time I have to set server output on. So I am setting server output on. Yes, now it will show the result. So you will see the result like all the records from the table. So we are fetching employee name and cell. So this is how all the records one by one, all the records from the table has been fetched. You will see all the records from the table is coming. So this is how by using cursor we can fetch multiple records. By using cursor or by using cursor lifecycle we can fetch multiple records. Now let's try to implement this same example by using different method, or we can say a shortcut method. Now in this case we will use percentage row type attribute. We have covered this percentage row type attribute in the previous videos. So if you have any queries regarding column level attribute and row level attribute, that is percentage type and percentage row type, you can watch our previous video. So let's try to implement the same example. So as per requirement, we are fetching all the records from EMP1 table using explicit cursor lifecycle. So simply in this example or in this second method, we are using percentage row type. So this will be the very short variable, or in the single variable we can store multiple records, or all the columns of different data types we can store in a single variable. So that is the significance of percentage row type. So declare. So again similarly we have declared cursor. So cursor C1 is select star from EMP1. All the records I can fetch in the I can store in the C1. Next, I am declaring a variable. So EMP1 or you can write C1. Already we have fetched all records from EMP1 into C1. So also you can write here C1, no problem. So EMP1 that is table name or cursor name percentage row type. So this is the declaration of a variable in which we can store multiple data types or all the rows, all the records, or we can say all the columns I can store in a single variable. So begin again open C1 as per it is similar like a previous example. So open cursor loop, we have to start the loop. Now fetch C1 into I, as we have single variable in which we can store multiple variables, multiple data types values. So fetch C1 into I, single in a single I can store all the columns, all the column values, all the records in this single variable. So exit when C1 percentage not found. So again I am specifying the condition. So after records are finished, after fetching all the records, we have to exit this loop. So exit condition explicitly you have to mention. Otherwise this loop will be infinite loop. Then print dbms underscore output. So likewise I am printing I.ename. Now see the syntax. We have to write variable name, that is I, in which we have stored all the values. I dot I want only ename and I dot cell. So this is the syntax of percentage row type attribute, that is variable I. So end loop and close C1 and end. So if I run this whole code, you will see the same output. So this is the same output as we saw in the previous method. So king, that is name and sal, name and sal. All the records from the table has been fetched. So this is how the cursor works. So this was example number one. So let's move on to the example number second. So let me show you example number second. So this is the example. Let's try to understand the requirement. So requirement is write a plsql cursor program to display first 5 highest salary employees from EMP1 table using percentage row count. Now in this example we will be using percentage row count. So the number of records returned by a query, that will be stored into the percentage row count. So when you print this percentage row count, it will show the number of records fetched by a query or number of manipulation. The manipulation occurred in the different rows. The count will be shown by this attribute. So the requirement is write a PLSQL cursor program to display first 5 highest salaries. First 5 highest salaries of the employees from EMP1 table. So let's see how it works. So from here the solution will start. So again in cursor we have to declare the cursor as well as all the attributes or all the variables. So we have declared cursor over here. So cursor C1. So again we have taken the name as C1. So cursor C1 is select. So I am fetching only employee name and sal. So ename comma sal from EMP1 table where sal is not null. So I am specifying explicitly condition that sal should not be null and order by sal in descending order. So why am I ordering this sal in descending order? Because we want to fetch the first highest salaries of employees, first 5 highest salaries of the employees. So that's why I'm ordering the data into the descending order as per salary. So in cursor itself, all the records will be fetched in the descending order of the salary. So it will be the very easy task for further fetching the records. Now as I am returning or I am retrieving the employee name and sal, we have to declare the variables for this employee name and sal. So that's why v underscore ename and v underscore sal I have declared as like previous example. So again begin. So begin block starts from here. Now we have to open the cursor loop. Why I'm using loop? Because we have to fetch multiple records. So it is possible only through the loops. So I'm writing loop, then fetch c1 into. Now all the records I'm fetching into v underscore ename and v underscore sal, which is declared in the declare section. Then dbms output underscore I'm printing this statement. So dbms underscore output dot put underscore line employee name. So this is string concatenate with v underscore name. So it will print employee name dash and e name, whatever the e name is present in the table. Concatenate with salary, and salary it will write the value of salary. So whatever the value of corresponding employee is, it will uh, it will write on the console. It will fetch the sal also. So this is the dbms statement. Now we have to explicitly specify the exit condition. So exit when c1 percentage row count is equal to 5. So as we are dealing with the top 5 salary of the employees, we are fetching top 5 salaries or highest salaries of the employees. So again we have to use the percentage row count. So c1 percentage row count when it is equal to 5. When number of records are equal to 5, then we have to stop or exit the loop. So it will fetch one by one all the records till which, till what condition it will fetch? Till the percentage row count, the number of records are exactly equal to 5, it will fetch records, and after that it will exit the loop and it will come out of the loop. So it will fetch only top 5 salary of the employees. So we have to remember that when you are asked to fetch top 5 employees, you have to remember this percentage row count attribute. So you can limit the rows. We can specify the condition. If the question is regarding fetch only 3 lowest salaries, again you can use the same attribute, that is c1 percentage row count is equal to 3. If the condition is you have to fetch the lowest 3 salaries, and you have to order it by ascending order. Salaries should be ordered in the ascending order. So this would be the case. So let's try to execute this code. If I execute this code, you will see the top employees whose salaries are highest. So you can see the employee name, the top highest is Pramod Sutar, salary is 20,000. Then next is King, whose salary is 6,000. Then next new to name, salary is 5,000. Likewise, the salaries or records are coming. So again, if you want to avoid the duplicate records, you can write mention the distinct condition in the ename and cell. So this is how we are fetching the top highest salaries. So this was the second example. Now let's move on to the next example. Let's see the next example is. So again, next condition is we have to write a plsql cursor program to display even number of rows from emp1 table using again percentage row count. Now again we have to fetch only the even number of records. So let's say again the example is very simple. So declare section, I am declaring the cursor. Just cursor c1 is select employee number, ename, and cell I am fetching employee number, ename, and cell this time from emp1 table. So we have to declare all these three attributes, that is all these three variables. So v underscore employee number, v underscore ename, and v underscore cell corresponding data types I am declaring. To begin, open c1 loop, fetch c1 into v underscore employee number, v underscore ename, and v underscore cell. I am fetching records into these three variables. So I have to specify the condition. Now as per requirement, they have asked us to fetch only one number of records. So how it is fetched? So if the modulus, so we have mod function. If modulus of c1 percentage row count comma 2 means c1 percentage row count divided by 2 is equal to 0, means it will return the even number of records. Suppose the percentage row count is 4, it is trying to fetch one by one record. If now first it will start with the one record, first record. So first record in fetch c1, it will fetch the first record, then it will check the condition whether c1 percentage row count. Now in this row count the record is 1, so it will return one value. 1 by 2 is not equal to 0, so it will not fetch this record. Now again it will not print any value because the condition is not satisfying. Again it will fetch the second record. So second record it is coming, and now percentage row count for second record will be 2. So 2 divided by 2 is equal to 0. Yes, the condition is true. Now again it will print the records, corresponding records. So second row is printed here. Similarly, it will move to the next condition. It will check the condition. If the modulus of percentage row count, now in this third time it will fetch row number 3. So row number 3 by 2 is not equal to 0. It will not return the record. Also, it is going to check for each time c1 percentage not found. Now c1 percentage not found is false this time because it has some records. As it is having some record, it will not exit the loop. Unless and until it has the records, it will not exit the loop. So now records are present. So it will go on checking the condition, that is percentage row count, go on adding the rows, and it will check the condition. If at all it is dividing by 2, if the remainder is 0, then it will print the record. Means only it will print all the even records, even rows. And if records are finished, now let's take an example. At last record, after taking the last record, it will move, or it will check this condition. After this condition, it will check this condition, exit when C1% is not found. Now C1% is not found means now the records are finished, so this condition will get true and it will end the loop and close C1 and end this particular block. So if I run this code, you will see that all the event records are coming. So number, this is employee number, name of employee, and salary. Likewise, only the event records are coming. So this is how we can work with the event records. Now let's see OR method. We have one more method as we saw in the previous case. So we can use percentage row type method, or the percentage row type attribute. Simply you can replace it by percentage row type attribute. Means by using single variable you can print all the records. So again the method is similar method. So first C1 is select star from emp1. I am fetching all the records in this cursor. I am declaring the cursor. So I emp1, that is employee name, that is table name emp1 percentage row type, begin open C1 loop, fetch C1 into I. Now simply in I you can store all the records, all the columns, all the values you can store in I. So if modulus of same condition I am applying, C1 percentage row count comma 2 is equal to 0. Then print this records, that is I dot ename and I dot sal. And if exit when condition is true, that is C1 percentage not found, end loop, close C1 and end. So if I run this part, you will see that same result is coming. So all the records which are even are fetched. So let's take an example. If the requirement is they have asked you to fetch only the odd records, so I'm replacing this 2 by 1. Simply we have to replace it by 1. So if I run this code, you will see all the values, or we can say, just a second, let me make a correction. The condition should be modulus of C1 percentage row count by 2. When you are dividing by 2, it should not be equal to 0. Means it will fetch uh, odd records. Okay, so this results shows all the odd records. So these are the odd records. So this is how you can apply this particular condition. Now next, let's move on to the next condition, next case, that is requirement. Let's see the requirement. So the requirement is get employee number, employee name, sal from emp1 using percentage row type attribute. So again the example is same. Example is simple, very simple example. Employee number, ename and sal we have to fetch in emp from emp1 table using percentage row type. So declare cursor C1 is select star from emp1. So declare, I am declaring I variable using percentage row type. So I C1 percentage row type, then begin open C1 loop, fetch C1 into I. So all records I am fetching in this I. Exit when C1 percentage not found, dbms underscore output. So we are printing employee number, ename and sal. So I dot employee number, I dot ename and I dot sal. So if I run this part, you will get the result. All the records are coming. So employee number, ename and sal is coming. So this was a very simple example. Now let's see the next case, that is fetch records of employees whose salary is more than 2000. Only we have to specify this condition, that salary, whose salary is more than 2000. So again the similar example So declare cursor C1 is select star from EMP1. So I'm fetching all the records. I C1 percentage row type. Then begin open C1 loop fetch C1 into I, and simply we have to add one condition that if I dot sal is greater than 2000, if I dot sal is greater than 2000, then only you have to return these records, that is I dot ename and I dot sal, and exit when C1 percentage not found. End if end loop and close C1 and end. So we'll see the result that all the records are fetched whose sal is greater than 2000. So 5000, 2800. Likewise, all the records are coming whose salary is greater than 2000. So this was about the case. Now the next requirement is we have to transfer the data from one table to the another table. So we are trying to insert, we will try to insert the record from AMP1 table, that is master table, in which the employees whose salaries are greater than 2000 into the target table. So we'll insert the records of EMP1 table whose salaries are greater than 2000 into the target table, or we have created a target table, or we'll create the target table and we'll try to insert the records. So we'll create a target table. So let me drop the table first. Drop table target. So already I have created a table of target. So I have dropped. So I am dropping the table. Yes, so table is dropped. Now let's create a table. So I am creating a target table. So the table name is target as select star from AMP1 where 1 is equal to 2 means I am creating only a structure. So yes, table is created. So I will show you the structure of the table. So the target table is, you can see only structure I have created. Now what is our aim? The aim is to copy all the records or insert all the records from EMP1 table into this table. Only the records of employees whose salary is greater than 2000. So let me show you the records from EMP1 table whose salary is greater than 2000. So all these employees whose salary is 2000, I have to insert into the target table. So this is my requirement. So let's try to insert. Let's see how the implementation is done using cursor. So declare. So again we have to declare cursor. So cursor C1 is select star from AMP1. Now you have to select table into the cursor or declare cursor using the table, that is the source table from which you are going to copy or insert the data. Only that table we have to consider into the cursor. So select or cursor C1 is select star from AMP1 where sal is greater than 2000. So I am explicitly specifying the condition, means in this cursor only these records of employees whose salary is greater than 2000 will come. And next I am declaring the variable, that is I C1 percentage type. Next let's start with this begin block. Begin open C1 loop fetch C1 into I. All this type is same as previous. Now only the changes we have to insert. So we are trying to insert into the target table. So insert into target table. What I want to insert is employee number, e-name and sal. Values. So what values I want to insert? I dot employee number means the record which is taken from the AMP1 table, that is source table. So I dot employee number, that is I is a variable. I dot employee number, I dot e-name and I dot sal. So one by one it will insert into the target table. And we have to specify the exit condition. Exit when C1 percentage not found. End loop and last close C1. So initially I have shown you that there is no record into this target table. So after running this query, you will see the records will be inserted into the target table. Yes, it is compiled successfully. So if I show you the data from target table, all the records will come. Yes, so all the records has been inserted using the EMP1 table, that is source table. So this is how you can do the insertion operation also. or you can insert data from one table into another table using cursors. So this was about insertion in the cursor. Now next, let's try to implement next attribute, that is percentage not found. Now we'll try to delete the records. So we have table called as cursor 1. So these are the records from the cursor 1. So as per requirement, or we'll try to delete the record of employee number 1111. So this, there are two records of employee number 1111. So we'll try to delete this record using the explicit cursor lifecycle. So we'll use the attributes, cursor attributes. So let's see how it works. So begin block. So we have to write the condition, or in this case there is no need of declaration. So we have to no need to declare anything. So directly we can write the query of delete. So delete from table name, that is cursor 1, where employee number is equal to 1111. So from this I can delete the records of employee number 1111. Now you have to specify the condition, that is SQL percentage found, that is percentage found attribute. We are using the percentage found attribute. Now we have used here SQL because we are not using cursor, so that's why you have to write SQL. So SQL percentage found. So if at all this record is present, so after firing this query, if the records are present, then it will show you the output as the deleted records count is. So again we are using one more attribute, that is percentage count, percentage row count. So it will return the number of records deleted. So by using this delete statement, you will delete the records, and the number of deleted records will be recorded into this attribute, that is percentage row count. So it will print the number of deleted rows or records. So first it will check whether the condition is true. If at all this employee number is present in this table, then only it will come to this part, or it will fetch, or it will try to print this statement, that is deleted records count is dash dash. Otherwise it will return that no records deleted. So let's try to implement this, or let's try to run this code. So if I run this part, so I am deleting the records. So you will see the output, deleted record count is 2. So as we saw in this case, in this table, the number of records of employee number 1111 is are 2. So the two records are there. So by using this block, we have deleted the two records. Now let's try to run once again. If I try to run once again, now let's see what will be the output. Otherwise, let's check the data from the table. See, if I check the data, the record has been deleted successfully. So this record, whose employee number was 1111, has been deleted. Now if I run this query again, if I run this query again, now this time this record is not there. This record already deleted. So it will not reach, or it will not enter into this if condition, because SQL percentage found will be false, because there are no records. So it will directly jump to the else block. It will return that no records deleted. So if I run this code, you will see the output as no records has been deleted. So this is how we are using the cursor attributes for deleting the records. Now let's take an example for updating the table. So let's see how we are updating the table using the attributes. So begin. So we are updating the same table. So the table is cursor C1. Name of the table is cursor C1. We are setting salary, that is sal is equal to sal plus 1101, where department number is equal to 10. So all the records whose department number is equal to 10, their salary should be increased by 1101. So let me show you the data of the table. Select star from cursor 1, where department on which we will be working is equal to 10. So we'll check only the data of department number 10 on which we will be doing updation activity. So we'll be updating only these three records. So I will keep this as it is. So clerk, Vikas and new one. So see the salaries. So 3551, 6101, 6101 are there. right? So if I run this block, if I update this cell, let's see how the changes will occur. So begin block, update cursor one, that is this table, set cell is equal to cell plus 1101. So in this I am adding 1101 where department is equal to 10. So for all this department I am increasing the salary. Now if SQL percentage found, if the records are present of department 10, then print this statement that rows updated. So number of rows updated will be SQL percentage row count. So it will return the number of rows updated, that is 3. Else it will say that no rows updated and end if. So if I run this code of update, let's see what will be the output. Yes, it will say that rows update is equal to 3. So let us see the record from this table. So if I'm doing refresh, you will see that it has been increased by 1101. It was previously it was 3000 something. Now it is 4000. Likewise, if I'm running this code once again this salary will be in 5000. This will be in 8000. So if I run this code once again, yes, again the rows updated is equal to 3. So if I refresh the records, see now these are the old values. So now I am refreshing the records. Yes, now you will see the records has been refreshed. So the records has been raised by the specified value. So this is how we can do the update activity. Now let's take a different case. Now I'm writing the department number which is not present in the table. So one department number is not present. So if I fire this part, if I fire this block, it will say that this department or no rows updated. So if I run this query, you will see that no rows updated because this particular department number is not present in this table. So this is how we are doing the updation activity. Now let's move on to the next part, last part, that is insert part. Now let's insert a simple record into the cursor one table. So begin block, simply in begin block directly you can write the statement, insertion statement. So insert into cursor one, I want to insert employee number and ename values 1 and raw. So if SQL percentage found means this insertion statement is found means one row will be added. Then you have to print rows inserted. So number of rows inserted it will print, else no rows updated. And if and end. So if I run this block, it will say that one row is inserted. So if I see the select query of the table, you will see the first record raw. E name is raw and employee number is 1. So likewise one row is added. So this is how we are doing the adding operation. Now let's say let me comment this section or comment this insert statement, and if I run this, let's see what will be the output. So if I run this, that no rows updated because insert statement is commented. So that's why it will say that it will fire the else block that no rows has been updated. So I hope this part is pretty much clear regarding the cursor attributes, cursor lifecycle. We have solved number of problems on the cursor attributes like percentage found, percentage not found, percentage open, percentage row count. So these are the examples on the cursor. So we'll meet in the next video. So that's all for this video. So if the information is, if you found uh, well, please do subscribe my video and press the bell icon. So thank you all and have a wonderful day ahead.